Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos, and today I have for you a spell counter deck. If you guys have been around the channel for a while, you know that I really love spell counters. They've never been good enough to make a splash in the meta, other than when we had the Golden Bamboo Sword at its finest. We could OTK and do things like that, but that got quickly nerfed because of Woodland Sprite. So now you know, they're a very slow deck, but it's still pretty fun to use. And as King of Games has not been super full of tryhards, or it hasn't been in the last couple days, I decided to give them a go. You know, seeing what they can do now that we have some spell counter tuners. Last time I visited this, I don't think we had any spell counter tuners, and the reason why that is important is because with them being spell counters, you can special summon them using magical exemplar, and then you can go into your boy Arcanite Magician. We also have Fortune Lady Every, which, even though it's part of the Fortune Lady archetype, it's just a really good spellcaster card. So you don't need to run any Fortune Ladies to splash this in there. My whole deck is spellcasters because, you know, we're using spell counters. So let's go over the deck list real quick. We have 2 Breaker the Magical Warrior, a really good way to just pop back row using his effect, obviously. Magical something. If you have 3 spell counters on this card, you can remove them and get a quick play spell from your graveyard and then place it in your spell and trap zone, which is really good. Lets you recycle all your quick play spells. It also gains a level based on the number of spell counters it has, so it lets you go into bigger synchros such as Scrap Dragon, Vermilion Dragon Mech, because it's going to be gaining levels as it gains spell counters. I have 1 Defender the Magical Knight. You can remove 1 spell counter and protect a spellcaster type monster, which is pretty good. It also has 2000 defense, so it's somewhat a safe turn 1 play to just set it and, you know, maybe put some back row in there. Magical Exemplar, main card of the deck. We want to open with this card, and we want to open with spells to, you know, immediately get spell counters on it. You get 2 counters per 1 spell, and then you can remove counters equals to the level of a monster in your hand or graveyard in order to special summon them. 1 Knight and Sorcerer, level 2 tuner. If you special summon this, you can banish target up 2 cards in your opponent's graveyard, banish them. That's pretty good against Darklords, although the situation never came up. I was running more at the beginning just to kind of force that situation, and it wasn't really working out, so I cut it out to 1 because we mostly want to go into level 7s, but it's nice to be able to go into a level 6 using the Knight and Sorcerer. And then level 3, Geomancer of the Ice Barrier. This card is really good. Not only is it a level 3 spellcaster tuner, but it also, you can discard 1 card and declare 1 attribute. This card cannot be selected as an attack target by the monsters with the declare attribute. The effect can be used only once while this card is face up on the field. So there's a little bit of a stall that you can do with this. It obviously only works against certain type of you know, decks. Darklords, it kind of works because all their monsters are dark, but they can also negate the effect, which kind of sucks. But it's still good to stall for you know, 1 or 2 turns if you're able to, though it's mainly here because it's a 3-star spellcaster. We're running Spell Specialist, so we need 5 spells with different names. We're running 1 Forbidden Chalice, 1 Enemy Controller, 1 World Legacy Clash, 3 Mythical Bestiary. You can send 2 cards from your graveyard, 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard to add 1 or 2 spell counters to a card that you can add spell counters to. So you can use this on your Power of the Guardians, immediately boost yourself up 1000. Also, if it gets destroyed, you get to special summon 1 monster from your deck that you can place a spell counter on, and then put 2 spell counters on it, which is really good. And then we have Power of the Guardians, very good against a lot of decks. Darklords struggle against Power of the Guardians. They're only out if they're not running Cyclones is Desire. So if you can out their Desire and you still have your Power of the Guardians, a lot of times they just can't get over your monster. They might still be able to stall you out, so it's not like Power of the Guardians is an instant win, but it definitely gives them a lot of trouble. And then 1 Treacherous Trap Hole, because why not? We run all spells, we had this spot, so we just threw it in there. The extra deck we already kind of went over. Arcanite Magician. For the level 6 I have Psychemoth, and I also have Explosive Magician. This card really is really bad. I don't even know why I have it here. I never went into it. I would put a second Fortune Lady every if I had it, or you know, any other level 6. One Scrap Dragon and one Vermilion Dragon mech. I think I've already gone over that, but let's go ahead and show you guys some replays. And yeah, had a lot of fun with this deck when I didn't get completely overwhelmed by things such as Darklords. I felt like most of those Darklord matches where I instantly lost, it was just pretty unfair. Like, they were going second, which is a huge advantage for Darklords, and they had really good hands. But you are gonna see me go up against 2 or 3 Darklords in this video. I think 2. But first we have as Sartorius, so we're just gonna normal summon the magical something, set the Legacy Clash as protection. We see the Neos Fusion, we can activate or World Legacy during the damage step to basically negate the attack and lower his attack by 1800. Summon the Geomancer, now I can go into a level 7. This time we're choosing to go into Fortune Lady Every. It has 2800 attack, it can come back if it gets destroyed during his end phase. And I can banish, meaning I get around the Neos Fusion protection. I also felt the delay as soon as I summoned, so I knew it was more than likely a Treacherous or a World Legacy Clash. If it's a Treacherous, it's not the base case scenario, but or Every is gonna come back if we happen to survive the turn. Luckily he doesn't have a monster to summon after the Brave Neos, and we survive with 400 life. When I banish a monster, gain 400 attack by our level going up 1, and we're able to banish the one Brave Neos, destroy the other one. Doesn't have anything else, so we're gonna get the easy win after that. I still had an econ to protect my Lady Every or my life points, depending on what my opponent did. Looks like they weren't gonna have an out for it, so they decided to not even play a card and just give me the win. They did have a Bacon Saver in the grave and maybe an Arcana Force 14 in hand. That's why I went ahead and summoned the other 2 additional monsters to be able to win the game over all of that stuff. Here we have Ishizu, and this was a peculiar Darklord build. I think this was focused on the mirror match, definitely. It was not running key cards such as Desire, which I was very surprised. We're gonna special summon or attempt to special summon with or Magical Exemplar. I really like opening up Exemplar and Bestiary, because Bestiary is gonna put 4 counters on this, 2 by the card's activation and 2 by the card's effect. So that's 4 counters. If we happen to mill one of our tuners or another spellcaster, we can instantly special summon it. And that's what I was trying to go for there, but he went ahead and negated with Sanctified. So we'll just take the 1700 damage. Cosmic Cyclone is going to banish my Forbidden Chalice, which is a huge deal. And then they go no mortal can resist. But he's forced to summon Quakimeru Ice and destroy my Magical Exemplar, which is basically a trade because he cannot keep the Quakimeru on the field. So we're gonna go Magical Something. Unfortunately for me, I don't have any of my spell or back row. Draws into a banishment, of course, and this is where things start to look a little bit bad for me. I thought I had lost because normally if you can go into contact from banishment, you're just gonna be able to search Desire and, you know, get rid of my monster and attack for game. But this is when I started to think, well, maybe they don't have Desire. He just searched a Superbia, went down to 200 life. We know what the back row is gonna be, so it's not like I only have to deal 200 damage. So we're gonna summon Night End Sorcerer. Really unfortunate that I couldn't special summon and, you know, banish some stuff from the grave. My by the way, my Magical Something had 2 counters on it, so it was a level 6, meaning I'm able to go into Scrap Dragon, which was a great choice. The only thing that can beat my Scrap Dragon is Superbia. I think Tess. Yeah, Tess is 2800, and Morningstar and Desire. He didn't use Desire. I didn't expect him to run the Morningstar either, so it was a pretty safe go-to. I'm gonna activate Scrap Dragon's effect to force the Sanctified Darklord. to negate the effect. That way I keep my bestiary. We're gonna see that he summons the Superbia, so we gotta get rid of that because that's 2900. Top deck's another banishment, and this is where I was like, okay, he's not searching Desire, then he must definitely not have Desire in the deck. Searches for another Sanctified Darklord, goes down to 1000 life, and that was the mistake that they made. They went down to 1000 life, and there is 3 Sanctifieds in the graveyard, so he has no way of gaining life other than maybe a Morningstar. And yeah, he can't get over my Scrap Dragon because Superbia is in defense position. It's gonna activate No Mortal Can Resist yet again. We're gonna normal summon Magical Knight. Didn't really need to do that, just went ahead and summoned because why not. Use the Power of the Guardians. He can't get over Power of the Guardians because he doesn't have Desire, and at this point his Superbia cannot even get over my Scrap Dragon, so we get the scoop. Alright, next we have Pegasus. And this was a pretty free win. It's one of those wins where you know what you're going up against, and you just play around what they try to do, and my opponent pretty much locked himself out of being able to play. We're gonna go second. I prefer going second with this deck. Not only do we get an extra card, but we can potentially go into you know, synchro plays and play aggressively. It's gonna normal summon Ancient Gear, set 2 back row, and activate Ancient Gear Fortress. I'm gonna normal summon the Magical Exemplar. No delay. What does that tell me? This is a Galaxy Cyclone or a double Cyclone. More than likely a double Cyclone because he went ahead and set the Gear Town as well. So all I have to do is not activate anything that he can destroy with double Cyclone, and we are successfully playing around his big Ancient Gear Golem, whether it's the Toon Monster or the Ancient Gear Reactor. All I have to do is summon my Fortune Lady Every, destroy the Wyvern. His field is locked, so we just get the scoop. Easy win. And then we have another Darklord matchup. This one was definitely more interesting than the other one. The other one, it felt like my opponent really misplayed. Here, I felt like I earned the win more than my opponent gave it to me. We're gonna go second, advantage us. And we have a decent opening hand. We have Enemy Controller, we have Bestiary, we have Power of the Guardians. So we're gonna be able to mill cards, get 3 counters on Magical Exemplar, which is gonna give us another spell if we wanted to. But instead I decided to just keep the counters on it. I didn't want to get the Bestiary back, and I have my Enemy Controllers. Also, because Power of the Guardian can remove a counter from anywhere on the field, removing the counter from Magical something was better than removing it from Power of the Guardians. But I think he negated my effect, so my counters went away regardless. He's gonna draw 2, activate Banishment. We already see that he does indeed run a Desire. It's now in the grave. So if he only runs 1, he's gonna need an Amdust to get that back. He's gonna special summon the Nastin. I thought I was done for right here. Adds the Amdust. Here's where I thought Desire was coming, but he ends up setting a card, meaning it was more than likely not a Darklord card. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that because we didn't trust it. It's just a Psychic Shockwave, and what I'm doing here is I'm gonna put him at 500 life, and I also get to recycle a card. I knew Desire was coming next turn because he has an Amdust, Desire's in the grave, and he's gonna have a Nastin to tribute over. So instead of getting my Enemy Controller back that was only gonna protect me from taking damage, I'm going to get the Bestiary and have a follow-up play with the Magical Exemplar. Gonna get the Bestiary back on the field, attack the Eggshell, hit him for 26, he's down to 500, meaning he can't activate anything from the grave. There's the Force Desire play that we knew he was gonna have to do. It's gonna target the Magical Something leaves, 2300 to the face, but we still have our Magical Exemplar and our Bestiary. We don't even need this World Legacy Clash. We're gonna special summon or Tuner with Exemplar. I could have gone into every I could have gone into anything I wanted pretty much, but I decided to flex the Prismatic and summon Arcanite Magician. We're gonna destroy the Desire, set the World Legacy Clash just in case, even though there was really nothing he could do at that point. And we take the win. That one felt more like an earned win. I don't think he made any mistake. It was pretty much sacked by my Power of the Guardians and enemy controller combo. Had he not drawn into that Psychic Shockwave, and that would have been a Darklord card, he could have done the Desire play one turn early, and I probably would have lost. But that's what happens, man. When you add tech cards to your deck, sometimes they will break you. That's why I personally don't run any non-Darklord cards in my Darklord deck for situations like that. I'm gonna go Bestiary right away. Get 4 counters on my Exemplar. I activate my effect. He thinks I'm special summoning the Breaker, the Magical Warrior, and he's gonna activate Fiend Griefing, which sends it back to my deck while he mills a Fiend type monster from his deck. But I'm actually special summoning the Geomancer from my hand, so I can go into Lady Every. I'm gonna set my Treacherous, Archfiend's Roar. Archfiend is going to target my Lady Every. We're gonna let that happen. There's no, I mean, I can't use the Bestiary anyway. I was hoping he'd maybe target the back row. Now I have the Treacherous right here. I know he can summon the First Lord of Horror back, but I was hoping he didn't have another, you know, another Fiend to summon from his hand or something like that. He decided not to attack, I guess playing around the potential Drowning Mirror Force. Realize my Fortune Lady Every is coming back, and I can just banish his Archfiend Lord of Horror, and we get the scoop. But yeah, this deck was a ton of fun to use. I honestly don't know what more support they can give us for spell counters, but I really like this, man. I love using Magical Exemplar. I wasn't able to fit the Citadel or Endymion or anything like that in a deck like this. But every time I play any variant of spell counters, I definitely have a lot of fun. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. And until next time.